Good morning to the people here in California. Good evening to the good people in Myanmar at this point. Alan Clements here, and today, right now, I would like to offer a Dhamma appeal, specifically to the good people I'm hoping this is live. Hold on, I'm gonna have to start over. It looks like okay, it seems that we now are live. Bear with me. Okay. Alan Clements here from Santa Monica, California. Today, an extraordinarily important sharing for me specifically to the military commanders in the country of Burma, Myanmar, and your family, your sisters, your brothers, your wife, your husband, your children, your friends, and specifically to the police force in Myanmar, in Burma. Those two categories, the military and the police in Burma. And may I invite you, anyone in the world who is watching and tuning in, this is an act of creative global civil disobedience in support of the democracy and the freedom in the country of Burma right now under tyrannical threat. May I invite you, please share this video as widely as possible. Belong to the transformation here. Belong to the global activism of supporting Burma's right for democracy and freedom. Okay. I have been a monk in the country of Myanmar. I've been blessed to be a student of the Venerable Mahasi Sayadaw and to Sayadaw U Pandita. I am a son of the Dhamma of Myanmar. We are related, police and military, as humans, as sons and daughters of the Buddha. We have that heritage. And we also, as Senior General Min Aung Hlaing declares so frequently, my only role is to safeguard and to promote democracy. We are also sons and daughters of democracy. So I'm speaking to you not as an outsider, but as a relative, as a human in the Dhamma and in democracy. The word you will know in the Pali Buddhist language, Kalyanamitta. I remember hearing this so frequently from Venerable Mahasi Sayadaw and Sayadaw U Pandita and other monks and nuns. And you'll remember that the word means a noble friend, not an ordinary friend, but an individual who dedicates her life, his life, to the elevation of your well-being, a dedication to truth-telling, protecting you from the kilesa, greed, anger, and delusion, trying to help you along this journey of making wise decisions at the crossroads of every hour of our day, to do the right thing. A Kalyanamitta, you will know in your own Dhamma culture courses that you bring your children to, that you yourself have participated in as a nun or a monk, military and police forces. I'm speaking to you in Myanmar. The role of the Kalyanamitta, you'll know that. A noble friend. I think it's worth remembering right now the importance of Kalyanamitta in our lives. Not an individual who steers you into ill-considered behaviors, mistaking harming for helping, mistaking killing for safeguarding. That is the opposite of a Kalyanamita. And I think you know that at this very point. And the emphasis today and what I'm trying to get to is why you, commanders, officers, colonels, privates, sergeants in the military, policewomen, policemen all throughout the country of Myanmar, why you should immediately listen to the people, listen to the world, and hear them as a Kalyanamita. Are they saying the truth or are they lying? Are they friends of freedom or are they villains of freedom? Are they safeguarding democracy or are they trying to instigate tyranny? And you must ask yourself, military and policemen and policewomen, what is the truth? And herein lies a very important point. I remember Seda U Pandita often telling me and talking to me, Alan, a Kalyanamita often says things to you that aren't particularly easy to hear, that they may upset the status quo of your own moha, or your own delusion, but nonetheless they're rooted in metta and compassion and karuna. And be patient and listen to them very carefully. I am here to promote your well-being, not to take it away. Pause. Yesterday, the great General Aung San's birthday, February 14th in Myanmar. We all know the great General Aung San. It's perversely ironic at this very moment that his daughter is incarcerated in his own country by people, by a senior general and a few other men. I'm sure it's not a whole lot of people who are really behind this, have imprisoned General Aung San's own daughter in the name of safeguarding democracy. That is not the role of a Kalyanamita. That's the role of a Devadatta, trying to splinter and sever the Sangha of Myanmar, all ethnicities. And Devadatta was successful. But Devadatta died, and at this very moment, according to the scriptures you know very well, suffers immeasurably in the Apaya Lokas, in hell. We must, military, and I grew up in a military family. My mother and father both belonged to the World War. I know what it means to be obedient and disobedient, what it means to really think for yourself. So the role of a Kalyanamita here is I'm really asking you as you forward this video all throughout Burma, because the internet's going to be cut in an hour. Tanks are on the street in Rangoon and Mandalay. It's lawless. The prisons have been emptied of criminals. They're filling them up with artists, with doctors, with nurses. Is that the role of a Kalyanamita? Is Senior General Min Aung Hlaing your Kalyanamita? I ask you, military and police force, are you blindly obeying the orders of a senior general who is acting in good faith to be the upholder of democracy with the face of Devadatta all over him? I think you must really, really ask yourself. General Aung San, if you know history well, you'll know in the early days when he brought a few good men and women together as a young student, after coming back from Japan, he and his band of so-called radical freedom fighters were banned as terrorists by the white supremacist invaders from England at the time, right? Nelson Mandela, prior to his incarceration in Robben Island prison, banned, incarcerated as a terrorist organization by the white supremacist apartheid machine of South Africa. military and police forces in Myanmar, listen to your people, listen to the world. They are calling you a terrorist organization. You are not upholding freedom. General Aung San, I spent a lot of time with his daughter, Aung San Suu Kyi, upholding the dignity of the nation, an army and a police force that upholds the peace and the sanctity, the sovereignty of the people, not a terrorist organization that kills, imprisons, and harms the people. The military commanders, police force, you must ask yourself really deeply in your heart tonight when you hear this video, and I hope it's translated into all the various languages and dialects throughout the country of Myanmar. This is an appeal to you, your Dhamma heart as a brother in Dhamma, a brother in democracy, a brother and a sister as a human being on planet Earth. I appeal to your conscience, the soul of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Conscience, sila, hiri, and otapa. Conscious shame, conscious regret. Would my family and my elders, my Kalyana Mita, would they agree or would they like what I'm doing in my tank, in my incarceration of people, or would they condemn it? The world is condemning the violence through the military and the police force in Burma. I am talking to your Dhamma heart to cease your collusion with your moha. Blind obedience must be stopped. You are many. Senior General Min Aung Hlaing and his few people near him are very, very few. Okay. I learned the word in your country called moha, delusion. The Venerable Mahasi Sayadaw and his successor, Venerable Sayadaw U Pandita, my preceptor in my meditation, Dhamma teacher, informed me that moha is understood twofold. You're blind on one level, although your eyes are wide open, blind to reality. But it's not that you don't see. What you see perversely, wrongly. Again, through the filter of moha, you think that harming actors, you think that imprisoning a nurse and a doctor is right? That doctor saved your mother and father's life? That's the delusion of your own mind to make that doctor, that nurse, that actor, that rock star, that hip-hop singer, that rap artist, Aung San Suu Kyi, the president, U Win Taint, all the people that you are incarcerating tonight, going into their homes, you are telling them they are terrorists and they're enemies of democracy. It's because you have perversely not understood through your mindfulness that what I am seeing and hearing and thinking is through the filter of moha. I am deluded. I am captured by stupidity. Right there, activate your Dharma heart. CMD, mindful civil inner disobedience. Become disobedient to your moha and go, all of a sudden you're trying to arrest someone and you wake up and go, no, I refuse to participate in the denigration of my own being. Every soldier, every military leader in that country, including General Min Aung Hlaing, including General Tan Shui hidden behind his doors and his throne in Naypyidaw, you have a chance to interrupt your moha and join the people in the protection of democracy, the thriving of the Sangha and the Sasana, and the flourishing of freedom on our blessed planet. Another thing to consider, if I may. I'm trying to imagine what it would be like to be in the military or police force and listening to these orders: attack, imprison, harm. But I know I was trained in the military to obey and not question authority, but I'm acting like a quay, a dog, being told to do something. I'm being told to do something that is so contrary to my Panchasila, to my 5 precepts, to my Hiriyanotapa, to my conscience, to my dignity. Well, the question should be asked, you know, you're right deep down inside of yourself, but the question is, do you have the moral, ethical, sila courage to interrupt? Because if you don't, something to really consider, and I think history has shown this, and I think you know that deep down in your heart. Even I think Tan Shui knows it, and Senior General Min Aung Hlaing knows it. That's why he's becoming so outrageously violent right now. He knows he is not safe, nor is his family safe, nor are his cronies and friends safe. And guess what, military and police? Neither will you be safe if you carry out these wrong, illegal, violent orders to persecute harmless people, doctors, nurses, people who gave birth to your very children. You are going to jail and incarcerate? You will never be safe in Myanmar society ever again if you do it. Everywhere your children and your wife go, you may be successful in putting them in prison yet again and again and again, but democracy and freedom will never be killed. You can't kill oxygen. You will try. But wherever you walk and shop and move and go, consider Hiriyanotapa. You're never going to be safe wherever you go, and you'll never be safe or peaceful inside. In your moments of quietude, you will be haunted by the wrongful deeds and actions of committing violations to your own people. The people are not tyrants and terrorists. You are. And so please, may I invite you to deeply consider every moment of your day, driving a tank, moving a truck, taking a prisoner and putting handcuffs on her. Stop. S-T-O-P. Stop. And go, I am going to defect. I'm not going to belong to my stupidity. I'm not going to take wrongful orders. I am going to join the people in their collective, growing momentum of civil disobedience that around the world it's growing. And please share this video before the internet goes down in Burma. Let the people in Burma know, in Myanmar know, let the military know. We are watching you and you have control of your mind. I learned mindfulness from your monks and nuns in Burma. That means, as Sayadaw U Pandita would often tell me, Alan, you have a right to tell the truth to yourself. You can interrupt the conditioning of your habits. I was an addict. I learned how to interrupt bad behaviors. Insert your sati wherever you are right now and stop. That's the first precept right now. Stop arresting people. Stop driving tanks. Turn around and ask questions to your fellow policemen and women, soldiers. Are we doing the right thing here, listening to our senior officers? And if you both go, no, guess what? We are many. They are few. And the next thing you know, when the world sees you as a terrorist, You're no longer a military organization. You are not upholding democracy. You're not upholding freedom. You will be progressively isolated. You know that. Senior General Min Aung Hlaing knows that. He has his friends right now in China, in North Korea, in Russia, but soon when he is expendable, he is without an ally. Without a gun right now, he is useless. And even with a gun, this time around, it will not be a repeat of 1988. The people are standing up and speaking. Social media and the revolution of conscience and the spirit is more active today than anywhere in any time throughout history. The people of my own country of America want freedom. We refuse to be censored. We refuse to cower in the corner, no matter what. We will use our voice. We will use our conscience. We will not use the fist. I encourage the military and the police forces. Abandon the leadership who's telling you to behave like a sheep, like a dog, like an animal. You're expendable to them. All you are is a force of might, and the people know that. Wake up and join the revolution of nonviolent democracy that Aung San Suu Kyi has been championing ever since she came back in 1988 to be with her dying mother. Follow in the footsteps of the Nayaka of the NLD, my very beloved dear friend, U Tin U. He and I were very close. I recently saw him in Myanmar. He was the general of the army. Senior General Min Aung Hlaing was a child at that time. He was the general under Ne Win. And one day, as you may know, Ne Win, thinking that my friend U Tin U had too much power, put him in prison for 6 years on the spot. A day or two later, when he was released, he came to the monastery, was given a room near mine, and he and I became very close friends. He told me about the delusion of being obedient to dictatorship. The delusion of being obedient to people who pretend to protect freedom and democracy, false Kalyanamitas. These are people who have the face of peace and the heart of Devadatta. You must see through, U Tin U said to me. You must see through your own indoctrination. It took 6 years imprisonment for me as a general. And Ne Win and I were very close friends. I was very obedient, but I shouldn't have been if I only had been more awake to see that what I was doing under his wrongful command was wrong for the people. And he and Aung San Suu Kyi and U Win Tin and others formed the National League for Democracy. Why? Because General Aung San wanted an army that was dignified, peaceful, and protective of the people. You are doing the perverse opposite. You're harming democracy, harming the people. May I encourage you, military and army in Myanmar, defect. Join the civil disobedience movement. Show Senior General Min Aung Hlaing. Show Tan Shui. Show leaders in that military, in those police forces, the courage to cease your obedience to tyrannical, violent orders. Stop the tanks. Stop the arrests. I can't even imagine what it would be like to arrest a doctor, a nurse, who gave my wife the support needed to bring my daughter and son into the world, and I'm told that they're criminals. Moha. I know there's conviction in Moha. People see it around the world all the time. But there's no way better than to get to that breaking point. Right now, you have that point in you that says, I am doing the wrong thing. And may I encourage you as a son of democracy, as a son of the Dhamma, as a brother and sister, as human beings on planet Earth, support the people. Let Myanmar be an extraordinary example of courageous, conscious-oriented revolution of the heart with all the denominations, from the Jews to the Muslims, to the atheists, to the Buddhists, to the Catholics, to the Christians, to the agnostics, to the Karens, the Hmons, the Kachins, the Rakhine. Let all ethnicities, all 135 of them, come forth in a unity and say, no, you are not a Kalyanamita. You are the face of Deva Datta. You are encouraging us to do things that will create harm for our family. We will be shunned. We will be hated. We'll be reviled. We'll be shamed and mocked from now through decades to come, because what you're doing is wrong, and right now you have a chance to make good on doing what's right. How many times I saw nuns and monks come into the order in Burma, and how easy it would be for them to repeat wrongful behaviors, but they learned the power of nekama, restraint, moral courage to withhold the propulsion of moha, to act out wrongly, to break your vinaya. And I could see these girls and boys, young monks and young nuns, and I know you in the military, you know the power of moha, but you also know the power of sila. Right now, make a decision. That's why Aung San Suu Kyi called it a revolution of the spirit. This is the second great coming, the second great independence movement. General Aung San, the courage of boys and girls, threw off the shackles of white supremacist England after over 130 some years and 2 wars of imperialistic slavery. Wow. And he formed the army that you're wearing a uniform in right now. Are you a son of General Aung San? Or are you an enemy? I would really, really encourage you right now. This is the second great independence movement in Burma. The first was successful in the 1940s, and right now in 2021, and I venture a prediction, no matter what you throw at the people will not cower. We will not cower. And this independence movement will be successful. And I pray that the military and the police force understand that you have an opportunity here, just like General Aung San did, and the original 30 comrades belong to the comrades of the people. The Kalyanamita now are the people of the country. They are the face of freedom. They are the ones that are asking you to rise up in freedom and in dignity and enjoying the people, and isolate this so-called erroneous, wrongful, obedient to their own stupidity and delusion, this leadership under Senior General Min Aung Hlaing. And you know, I wouldn't be surprised that the so-called retired mastermind of all of these behaviors, Tan Shui, I wouldn't be surprised that he arrests and imprisons Senior General Min Aung Hlaing. You can be sure he wants to safeguard his family. Senior General, you may very well at this point resurrect and go like, you know something? I'm not safe. The people are many. The military, They're Buddhists. The police are Buddhists. They're going to wake up and understand, I'm just one person. Tomorrow I'm going to give a talk to the Sangha of Myanmar. As a former Sangha member, I'm going to speak to my sisters and brothers in Burma. May I encourage you again here, coming to the end of this appeal, share this talk widely. Share it throughout the day, throughout the night, to all of our brothers and sisters in Myanmar. If you know people in the military, in the police force, their sons and their daughters, their friends, their cronies, send this video, translate it into all the dialects and languages and subtitles. Let them see and hear what we on the outside feel. And let me close. I was so moved when I first heard the story of Angulimala in the classical Pali canon. For whatever reason, motivated this gentleman to fulfill his sociopathic desire and to kill whatever the reason was in the name of. And it said in the text that he came to the Buddha wanting to have the Buddha's head as his 1,000th murder. And it said that he said to the Buddha, "Stop. I want to kill you." And it said that the Buddha stopped and looked at Angulimala in the eye. Imagine right now if we looked at Senior General Min Aung Hlaing, we looked at the police, we looked at the military, we looked at Tan Shui, and we looked at them right in the very eye, and the Buddha said to them, "I have stopped. It's you who haven't stopped. You haven't stopped your flow of lobha, dosa, moha. You have not stopped your greed, anger, and delusion. I have. You have not stopped your tyranny. You have not stopped your harm, your proclivity to dominate and oppress. This revolution of the spirit, this civil disobedience movement in Burma and around the world is about stop your greed, anger, and delusion, military, police, Senior General Min Aung Hlaing. Stop your flow of lobha, dosa, moha. We see you." Angulimala had the good sense, had the parami to hear the Buddha's words, and he ceased and interrupted mindfully that flow of kilesa. This civil disobedience movement by the doctors and the civil servants and the bankers and the teachers, may it grow in momentum, and its voice is to stop kilesa, stop greed, anger, and delusion in the oppressor. And may I invite all the military, all the police, hear the story of Angulimala, because if you don't, you will never be safe, or your family. And history has shown, Ne Win ended up in house arrest. His children were imprisoned by Tan Shui. Go on the internet, Senior General in the military. Look up Ceausescu of Romania, the all-powerful man, the dictator. Crossed the line, persecuted the people, tried to flee, was caught by his own military, and through firing squad was killed, he and his wife. I'm not suggesting you be killed. I do believe that the soul, the heart of Dhamma is redemption. Even the Buddha talked about Devadatta when he died, not to feel glad that the great tyrant who tried to murder me as the Buddha is dead. He one day will become a Pacceka Buddha. I encourage the military to rise up into your Angulimala, cease, stop, join the people, belong to the civil disobedience movement, interrupt the flow of moha, and Senior General Min Aung Hlaing, do not go the road of Romania with Ceausescu. Do not go the road of Ne Win. Do not, under any circumstance, feel that you're safe, because every day that you continue this tyranny, you create the worst conditions for your wife, for your son, for your friends, for your cronies. You will never be safe, and you'll never be safe inside, because I have seen in meditation that although you do things that you think are right, they haunt you when you awaken in Hiri and Ottappa. They cripple your sense of confidence when you begin to make right on your wrongs in silence. I wouldn't even be surprised that your wife and your friends look at you and tell you lies because they fear you. But there's going to be a time very soon, there's going to be a reckoning. This revolution will not stop. We are many, you are few. We have the Dhamma on our side, and you don't. You claim to uphold your only role, democracy. You're doing the very opposite of trying to bastardize the word democracy with dictatorship and tyranny. Stop. I'll end here. The military, the police of Myanmar, may this video be translated into various languages and dialects and circulate all throughout the world and throughout Myanmar. Please share it widely. And I call upon you, military and police, stop the tanks. Stop the arbitrary arrests. Stop persecuting people, and put your mind and body into those that you are imprisoning. That nurse and that doctor who gave birth to your wife and your child, who healed and helped your mother and father in times of disease, he and she is the enemy of the state. You got it wrong. Get it right. Join the people. Join sanity. Join the revolution of the heart. Join the civil disobedience of the people now. Stop your moha. Angulimala did. He became an arhat. All of us have the possibility to awaken. That's the power of the Dhamma. From my heart to yours, may you see the light of the Dhamma and cease your tyranny right here, right now, and defect from your obedience to the Senior General and anyone above you, and join the people and join the world in this democracy movement for freedom, safety, rule of law, and the sanctity and the preservation of Myanmar and the Dhamma from now into the future. From my heart to yours, I will be back tomorrow. And I will talk directly to my brothers and sisters in the Sangha in Myanmar.